opportunity to present Imagine. So as you said, I will be very brief because this afternoon I will present it more in detail, but just to give you the general idea. So Imagine is a large-scale hydrogen valley. It was selected into 2023 call from the Clean Hydrogen Partnership. So we only started this January, so it's very new, and the project will last for 6 years. It covers the whole value chain from production to end users. And so, yeah, the project is coordinated by Auvergne Rhône-Alpes Region. And the region has had for many years a very proactive policy towards the hydrogen sector. And we have this regional hydrogen committee where we put all the stakeholders around the table. We have a hydrogen strategy that we voted in 2020, sorry. And this is really where the project Imagine came from. So the rest will be this afternoon, if you want to have more details. So I will move on to your question about the key challenges. Well, I would say that the first challenge is simply the very large number of partners we have in this project. It is, of course, a great opportunity. There are 42 partners in this project, but also, yes, it is quite a challenge to manage such a large consortium. Then a second challenge is the fact that, okay, so it's a valley, so basically the project, there are many projects within the project, so to say, and many of them are really linked or intertwined. And if there's maybe one of the partners has issues or faces problem, then a bit like a domino effect, you will have the others maybe leaving the project. I'm telling this because we've only started recently, and already we have some partners leaving, unfortunately, because it was an ecosystem in the Alps with production and distribution of hydrogen, and then some stakeholders were going to buy vehicles around this system. And yeah, I'll be brief, but anyway, there's an issue with the land to build the electrolyzer. So then there's so much uncertainty now if we can find a replacement solution that some partners withdrew. So we had one leaving and then 4 leaving. But that's it. And as a consequence, the challenge is that the scope of the project is changing constantly. But then probably it's normal because the hydrogen economy is still emerging, and this is why we have the public authorities like the region really trying to coordinate and make it emerge, and that we have the European support. So if I move on to the missing supports, or maybe the policy change that I see, I would say that firstly there would be there would be something about the price of hydrogen, because it would be interesting, we think for us, if there was a change in the conditions for bidding in the H2 bank to allow the accumulation of state aid. This is, I don't know in other countries, but particularly an issue in France. We had no offer that was accepted. The prices were too high, apparently, and also in France we don't have any national policy to support the production of green hydrogen. So the selling price of hydrogen is still pretty much a big obstacle to the development of a hydrogen economy. Also, second thing would be on the cost of buying the vehicles, because there is not really anymore any support as such as at European level. We used to have it in CEF before, and also in the alternative fuel infrastructure regulation, it's not possible. And also, we don't really have, well, we do have a support at national level, but it's extremely competitive. So basically, it's really extremely difficult to have. So for this, also for buying the vehicles, it's extremely difficult. Maybe also from a French point of view, there is this issue about the colors of hydrogen, and because we have a lot of nuclear-generated electricity in France, it is also an issue for us that it is considered as green hydrogen. But maybe. So.
Thank you very much, Celine, for your comprehensive answer and very timely. 5 minutes, sharp. Now let's turn to Magdalena from Hydrogen Partnership Austria. Thank you very much for being with us here today. As the head of the Austrian Hydrogen Partnership, what recommendations would you offer to national and European bodies to speed up the development of a full hydrogen value chain? And according to you, which kinds of supports are still missing? Thank you, Magdalena. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you for being here today. First of all, politics have to think or stop thinking in election periods, because the climate change does not care which party is on top. So we all have to think long term, like mentioned in a panel before from Sarah, and we have to stop thinking just in these short-term periods. To give a good practice in Austria, we as Hydrogen Partnership Austria are funded by the Federal Ministry of Climate Action and the Federal Ministry of Labor and Economy. And we are responsible to give space to all stakeholders in Austria in the hydrogen business. So that's a good practice. But then speaking of cooperations, we need cooperations in every sector. For example, let's talk about cooperations between different projects. We need the research and development part, we need the economics part, like the bigger companies, and we also need the politics in these projects. And we also talk about cross-sector collaborations, as well as international partnerships and trade agreements. All these parts are quite essential to ramp up the hydrogen business. For example, the hydrogen European backbone. So we have to stop thinking regional and national. We also have to think about European problems or problems around all over the world. So new projects must learn from older projects or already implemented ones without the sense of competition, for example. Another thing is the risking. You mentioned the price. It's a big thing to the risk or to take the risk of finance the bigger projects or funding projects in the hydrogen business. So we need long-term financial incentives, for example. There has to be a focus on infrastructure, not just in Austria, not just in Europe, not just in Austria, and not just like the Brenner corridor. We have to think bigger, also because of importing the hydrogen. And with this, we need the clear regulations, we need standards, we need a clear framework for all over Austria, all over Europe, and even better, all over the world. And maybe we have to jump some permission steps, for example, to speed up the projects in different states of the project. And last but not least, we also have to promote public acceptance as well as educations and trainings in the hydrogen business.
Thank you very much, Magdalena, for your clear messages about how to, and your clear recommendations. Now we will turn to Hubert Landinger. Hubert, you have experience in certification of green hydrogen ecosystems, such as Certify. Can you tell us a bit more about this, and also how can this kind of instrument support the creation of hydrogen economies, and how can also they can be integrated into the policy. Hubert, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Thank you very much for being here, and it's a pleasure for me to introduce to you the certification scheme. So, as all of you know, we have the Renewable Energy Directive, the RED II, and also around about 1 year ago, the RED III, or the update of the RED II, comes into place that sets special requirements for hydrogen in the business. So it means, for example, for the transport sector, there's the requirement for 2030 that 29% of the overall fuels are from renewable energy. 5.5% of that have to be advanced biofuels and so-called renewable fuels of non-biological origin, RFNBOs. And 1% have to be RFNBOs, meaning hydrogen or e-fuels. So that means there is action needed, and also the industry sector is asked to contribute to that as well. That would be a separate topic. But my topic today is to introduce to you the certification scheme Certify. It's important to know that this legislation, the RED II and the RED III, that is a directive. A directive means that it's not yet implemented as a law, but it has to be implemented by each member state. So, as I said, 1 year ago, around about 1 year ago, there was the latest change in the RED. That means the member states have 2 years' time now to implement the RED in their legislation. And in saying that, so in parallel to the RED, there are 2 delegated acts that there is no need for the delegated acts to be implemented. They are already valid as they are, as soon as they are defined. So how does this work? So first of all, we have the European Commission. The European Commission requires the transposition of that law into the member states, as I already